You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a group of Joplin residents are trying to bring the community together. Our very own Fernanda Silva will have more.
Also, several law enforcement agencies work together to pass along the Special Olympics torch.
And we got a cloudy start to the day out there. Stray shower or storm possible this morning. Watching the possibility of severe weather later tonight. Look at your forecast, get you out the door. Coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. now on this Thursday morning. And of course, we had thunderstorms yesterday. A couple of rounds of thunderstorms, but no severe weather. We had strong storms, no severe weather. Unfortunately, that's going to be a brief lull in severe activity. We've got more on the way. I'm telling you, it's been a long month, really, of severe weather, going back all the way into April.
Yes, it's been exhausting. Well, Joplin's Equity and Diversity and Inclusion Committee held a meeting yesterday afternoon to discuss some less exhausting plans for the upcoming Unity Walk to be held on June 3rd, Thursday.
EDI's goal is to make sure everybody is included. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
In the past, I've had issues where I've definitely had to hush down a little bit of who I am as a person.
Tabitha Carter's personal experiences opened her eyes to challenges other people might deal with. But a group in Joplin is helping her expand her horizons even more.
I'm educated in things I didn't know previously about inclusion. So even though there are certain things that I face every day, I'm learning a lot about all different areas of inclusion and how I can be a better coworker, how I could be a better boss.
Joplin's Equity, Diversity and Inclusion Committee wants to make sure everyone is treated in the same way, regardless of their sexual orientation, gender identity, nationality, religion, or skin color.
The important part, of course, is to show all of the people coming from all over the world, all over the country, that we support you, your small business and your ventures and your families.
A lot of times people have to feel left out if they happen to look different or if they're differently abled. Anything that maybe separates them, that they feel separates, we have EDI to bring everyone together and to know that really it's as simple as you belong here.
The organization aims to be a safe place for people to share their feelings and show who they truly are.
We're not promoting any certain group over any other certain group. We are simply saying that if you're breathing, you belong. And it's really that simple.
For Colbert King, EDI's goal is to stitch a quilt out of Joplin.
A quilt is made up of a bunch of different squares that look different. Every one of them has different patterns, different squares, different whatever. But when they're all put together and you're stitched together, they make a beautiful quilt. That is diversity. That is what every city needs.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
EDI's Unity Walk on Third Thursday starts at 6 p.m. June 20th at 2nd and Main.
And you can find more information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And we are continuing to monitor the possibility of additional strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. Let's start with a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Really nothing out there at this point other than what's down across Arkansas. And if we zoom this out just a bit, you can see we've got a few showers and storms. Actually, that storm up by Rolla has all but died. We've got this complex of showers here and a few lingering showers in north central Kansas, and in this gap here we could see a brief window for a stray shower or storm. Nothing to worry about. In fact, we may not really see much of anything, but it is a remote possibility. What we're really keeping an eye on is tonight, say after 9 o'clock. We have a low to elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. Tomorrow morning, we could see some redevelopment with additional strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms. And then we have a possible alert day for Saturday, and this gives away the reason right there. We have an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms late Saturday night into Sunday morning. We could even see some redevelopment in the first half of Sunday with more severe weather possible. So a lot to keep an eye on over the next several days. We're at 64 in Joplin right now, 62 in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. Cloudy out there. We've still got some cool spots up across northwestern parts of southeast Kansas. 50s in Yates Center, Chanute, and Iola. The rest of us still again hanging out into the 60s across the area. Again, today partly cloudy by this afternoon. Some of us even mostly clear. Highs in the low 80s, and that's warm, and that's not bad. But our humidity and dew point levels will be rising a bit as we head into the afternoon, so it's going to be relatively muggy. By 6, a few isolated to widely scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms start to build in, and by about 9, 10 o'clock tonight, the main complex rolls in. We're going to break down all the details on our severe chances today, tomorrow, into Saturday, and take a look at next week's forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says a trooper from Miami is fired after he was charged with sex crimes. Court documents say Trooper Jackie Lee Reinhardt pulled over a semi-truck driver for speeding on I-44 near Big Cabin in Craig County. They say Reinhardt forced sexual acts on the driver. Reinhardt is charged with sexual battery and forcible sodomy. After the charges were filed, the Highway Patrol released a statement saying it terminated Reinhardt's employment. Area police agencies joined forces yesterday for the annual law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics. The torch is moving across various regions of Missouri towards Columbia for the 2024 State Summer Games. The torch passed by 3 local schools where kids cheered them on. Joplin PD passed the torch near the limits of Webb City, then onto the Carthage Police Department. On My Own Center for Independent Living in Nevada, Missouri hosted its annual Disability Awareness Lunch fundraiser. Last year, the organization sold 304 plates. This year, its goal was 350. Funds raised by the organization go to supporting aging seniors, youth scholarships, ramps, and home modifications, community resources, and so much more.
One of them is called Age My Way, which is services for seniors that may fall through the cracks. Maybe they don't have Medicaid or they don't have veteran services or things like that. So we, through the foundation, are able to fund some in-home care for them.
For $10, diners could get a barbecue sandwich, chips, cookie, pickle, and a bottle of water, all to help a good cause. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. And those are our top stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. We hear how the focus of the Charlie 22 organization is to help area veterans. And later in California, Aquarium created a program to help get orphaned sea otters back to the ocean. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
For your chance to win.
Charlie 22 Outdoors is an area nonprofit that helps area veterans. AJ Stock, a spokesperson for Charlie 22 Outdoors, is with us this morning to share about Operation Teeing Off as well as a few other events. Welcome, AJ. Thank you so much for being with us. Of course. So can you talk to me a little bit about Charlie 22 Outdoors and the services that you all provide to veterans?
Yep. We are a nonprofit, faith-based organization who basically what we do is we bring veterans in from all over the country and host multiple events throughout the year. So we do, anything from deer hunts to duck hunts to fishing events. And long story short, our main focus is to love on veterans and to pray over them and just to share God's word with them. So
absolutely incredible. Can you talk to me how you've seen personally the impact of your organization on area veterans and just how it can impact their lives in a positive way?
Yep. A lot of times throughout our events, you'll notice when veterans come in, they're super quiet. They'll put their back against the wall, and throughout the event, as the events go on, and the days go by, and they start to feel more comfortable, and they start to come out of their shell a little bit, and just sharing love and God's grace with them helps them turn a new leaf and just provides them with just another outlet of support. So. Absolutely.
And now Charlie 22 Outdoors has 3 events coming up: the Memorial Day ceremony, Operation Teeing Off, and the annual dinner banquet. Can you talk to me briefly about all of those 3? Yes,
this upcoming Monday, Memorial Day, we are hosting a Memorial Day ceremony at the Open Air Pavilion at Mount Home Cemetery in Webb City. It starts at 10 a.m. We're having a guest speaker, retired Colonel Mark Costello, who's going to be talking. and it's open to the public, so everybody's welcome to come. And I believe this is the first time they've allowed anybody to host this since COVID, so we're
oh, how exciting.
Yep.
Absolutely. And so this Operation Teeing Off, this is a golf experience?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yep.
and then is any golf experience even required to
Nope.
join?
Nope, half the guys, they've never even swung a golf club before, so we're just there to have fun and hang out. But you know, it's a four-man golf scramble tournament held at Carthage Golf Course, and we're trying to get 25 teams registered, and I believe we're 2 teams short. So if anybody out there is looking to play, veterans play for free. Civilians, it's $100 per civilian, and there will be lunch provided at 12. And there's also silent and live auctions there as well. So we look forward to this every year, so it's a good event.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, AG, so much for being with us this morning. And remember that Operation Teeing Off, the banquet is Monday, May 27th at 10 a.m. If you missed any of that, it'll, of course, be on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:15 now on this Thursday morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker, again, still clear across our area. And really, it very well may stay that way. But we are caught in between a couple of complexes of some light dying showers in north central Kansas and some thunderstorms down to our south and east in Arkansas. And so it could trigger a stray shower or rumble of thunder this morning. Like I said, I believe most of us will remain dry, but there's still that remote possibility of seeing a stray shower this morning. This morning, anything we do see is nothing to worry about. It's tonight. We have a low-end tornado risk in our far western counties in southeast Kansas, low to elevated hail threat, and then we have this low to elevated wind risk. And you see the wind risk is over a broader area, and that's because the storms tonight are expected to roll through rather quickly. And that could generate greater wind speeds at the surface, and that's why we have a slightly more widespread wind threat. Tomorrow could see some redevelopment in the morning, and that could lead to some additional strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms for some of us. Saturday, though, is a possible alert day as we have an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms out there. Saturday is the day we are watching very closely, as this is going to be Saturday late night into early Sunday morning, and we could even see redevelopment Sunday morning before noon, and that could also be strong, potentially severe as well. All right, again, future track, trying to pick up again on a couple of those stray showers. Now, it's saying it could be here as late as noon. I think by 10 o'clock, our chances of a couple of stray showers will be gone. We're going to clear out, and we're also going to be very muggy. Our dew point humidity levels are going to be up a little higher. So not only is it going to be warmer, it's going to be muggier. By 6, a few isolated to widely scattered showers and storms come in. By 9 to 10, here comes that batch of strong to severe thunderstorms rolling through the area. Now, I want to put this from 10 p.m. to midnight and watch how quickly this complex advances out of here. By midnight, it is all but gone. And that's why that wind risk is a bit higher across a broader area, because as this complex rolls through, could generate greater surface winds and stronger wind gusts down here where we are. And we clear out overnight. We go into Friday morning, few clouds start rolling in, a couple of stray showers, and by about 6, 7 o'clock, thunderstorms start to develop out there. And you can see that the thunderstorms almost line up right where that low wind risk is. And these storms could be strong, low grade severe, and they could stick around through about 2 o'clock tomorrow, and then they should clear out. And then the rest of our Friday, we are warm, we are clear, we are dry, and that'll continue into the majority of our Saturday, really. We'll be warm, we'll be dry, we will be clear. It won't be until much later Saturday that we'll see that next round of storms. And Saturday's storms looks to come potentially in 2 parts. One, about 8 o'clock or so, one complex of strong, potentially severe storms rolling into the northeast, joining up with a line of severe storms that'll be pushing in from Kansas, rolling across the area. So we'll get 2 potential rounds. This could be a little bit longer than tonight's storms. They're going from 8 to 11 still in the area. A few storms still left even at 1 a.m. And then we'll have those storm chances as we head into Sunday as well. Again, highs today, low 80s, muggy, low 80s tomorrow, possible alert day Saturday with those strong to severe thunderstorms Saturday night into Sunday morning. A break in the action Monday and Tuesday, a few isolated storms Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Temperatures remaining warm in the low 80s except for Monday and Tuesday. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
We are located at 2702 Richard Joseph Boulevard.
Well, Southern California's biggest aquarium is part of a program that takes in orphan sea otter pups and helps them get back out to the wild.
Joy Benedict has more on how those pups are learning the skills they'll need to survive from other sea otters.
Inside the aquarium of the Pacific, there is a sea of things to see. But upstairs around the corner and behind the glass is a little sea otter making a splash.
Wonderful, very playful, very entertaining.
He is a she, affectionately known as 944.
All of our sea otters like to have some ice as some enrichment.
And around back, Megan Smiley has been making sure she feels at home for more than a year.
She first arrived here when she was about 9 weeks old.
944 was the 944th sea otter rescued off the Central Coast. She was separated from her mother, and with no other sea otters available to care for her, she ended up here, unable to go back in the wild. But now she'll be part of a new program to help other stranded pups.
Right now she's getting exposed to the program by being around other juvenile animals and other mom and pup pairs that are going to teach her those maternal instincts.
The aquarium is now part of a sub-program created by the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which teams up stranded pups with mom surrogates to help them return to the wild.
All observations we do are through this camera system.
The surrogacy pools are off limits to visitors as they don't want the pups getting used to humans. So every day, Smiley, who's in charge of the program, and her staff cut up the food and make the long walk to the back and put on a disguise.
We are throwing food over the pool so that they can't see us.
And quietly walk away and watch from afar.
So they're not associating humans with food.
The truth is, our southern sea otters are an endangered species. 100 years ago, they were hunted almost to extinction. And now one of their biggest dangers is climate change.
More intense storms in their coastal ecosystem, and so the larger the swells, the less likely that the mom and pup are going to be successful to stay together.
Stranded pups and more sharks.
The white sharks are starting to go further north because the water is starting to become warmer farther up the coast than it ever has been.
The Monterey Bay Aquarium started the surrogacy program 20 years ago for the pups left behind, but ran out of room when 944 was found last year. But now this aquarium will help bridge the gap by taking some of the pups.
That's a really good idea. Anything that preserves them.
And although this little swimmer is still too young to be a surrogate, 944 will someday leave this viewing pool and help another pup learn the skills needed to swim back out to sea.
It's an impressive program, and it's great that they're able to raise those orphan otters and get them back out into the wild.
Yes, and they're so cute.
They certainly are.
Well, coming up, a group of students are working hard to unearth evidence to help provide more insight into the Bloody Bender family. KOAM's Anthony Saviello shares the details on how they hope to find.
And we're keeping an eye on the possibility of a few strong to severe thunderstorms later tonight across the area. Well, then look at your forecast when we come back.
The interview set for any occasion. The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. I'm Elise Snowy. A federal court sentences a Kansas man for meth trafficking. In August of 2022, a Crawford County, Kansas sheriff's deputy tried to stop Justin Lapping, but he fled on motorcycle. Soon after entering Barton County, Missouri, Lapping abandoned the motorcycle and ran. Officers used tasers on Lapping, who was taken into custody with a large amount of meth. Now Lapping is sentenced to 24 years and 6 months without parole for possessing methamphetamine to distribute. Moviegoers in Anderson, Missouri had the chance to take in The Butterfly People yesterday evening at the Flick Theater. The hour-long documentary revisits the Joplin tornado, the aftermath, and the miraculous stories which followed concerning the intervention and protection of the butterfly people. For some, the documentary stands as a stark reminder of the devastation that struck the Joplin community.
I think, just like with 9/11, after a while it gets complacent, right? Like people forget about it. And so we want to make sure that people still remember you know, what happened and how many lives were lost, and really what it brought the community together of Joplin.
It gives me goosebumps because we're privileged and we're blessed. And I think for some people this might be a healing process for them, and for some, like my grandsons, a learning is history. And here we are right here at the Flick in Anderson getting to see it. And for some, you know, it might be bittersweet.
The film was written and directed by Gregory Fish, who also made Steadfast, the story of the Joplin tornado. Joplin's home for independent and local film will dim its lights after 6 years. Buckhouse Cinema has decided to close its doors on June 9th. The owners say while the property is for sale, they will maintain normal operating hours until the closing day. They go on to say they have a plan to, quote, provide Joplin with a cinema-focused space in the very near future, end quote. Folks in Columbus, Kansas yesterday were able to get a hamburger while supporting the efforts of the Skill Resource Center. The center hosted its Burgers on the Patio event with the help of Columbus firefighters who were grilling the burgers. All the money raised from the event supports Skill and KSDS Assistance Dogs Incorporated, which pairs people with disabilities with service dogs.
Skill, and we help disabled people and elderly people get direct support workers in their home to assist them in their everyday life.
Like I said, mostly everybody's in the middle here.
There was also prize drawings and live music. Well, with summer just around the corner, Joplin Parks and Recreation staff have been actively recruiting lifeguards and preparing for swim season. The good news, both Schifferdecker and Cunningham Aquatic Centers will open this year. Both facilities will be open 7 days a week this summer. Opening day is Friday, May 31st. For more information, including prices and hours, just dive into our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's Chris with a look at the forecast.
You might want to try and find the pool, especially today. Once we start to clear out this afternoon, it's going to be warm and it's going to be muggy out there for us. Skywatch Storm Tracker still clear in our area. And again, a stray shower or rumble of thunder is possible as we're kind of sandwiched between a couple of little disturbances here. I think most of us will remain dry, but nonetheless, that is a possibility. However, tonight, we're looking at strong to severe thunderstorms, a low to elevated risk across the area. Could see some strong to low grade severe thunderstorms in the first half of our Friday, and then Saturday is a possible alert day as we have an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms late Saturday into the overnight hours and into the first half of our Sunday. Quick look outside. It is 64 in Joplin, 62 in Pittsburgh. You can see a little bright light out there. Sun trying to clear through these clouds out there. And as we look at temperatures around the region, we've still got some upper 50s, mid 50s, Yates Center, Chanute, and Iola. Everyone else hanging out in the 60s this morning. Again, today we're looking to clear out, partly cloudy skies. Some of us may even be mostly clear. Low 80s for the highs, but again, high humidity, high dew point levels out there, so it's going to feel very soupy to say the least. By 6, a few isolated showers and thunderstorms may be possible, and then by about 9, 10 o'clock tonight, that's when the main thunderstorm complex will start to roll into the area. We'll have a complete look at your forecast and break down these thunderstorm chances for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, the notorious Bloody Bender family lived in Labette County, Kansas during the 1870s. The family is accused of murdering at least 10 people. Their story has been passed down generation to generation by word of mouth and through articles. However, students from the University of Kansas are now trying to literally dig up evidence regarding the Bender family. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
Well, this is why I bought the property. I bought it for this reason here, plus it's an investment second, but primary to uncover the secrets. And KU's been wonderful to work with. They have the talent and the people and the contacts to uncover the mysteries that we're trying to seek.
Bob Miller owns this 160-acre piece of land in Labette County. A piece of land that could hold an endless amount of stories regarding the infamous Bloody Bender family. He's employed the help of anthropology students at Kansas University to uncover this land's hidden truths.
I would love to find the foundation of the cabin. That is like my goal. Perhaps we won't, and that's okay. If we find any proof that this was actually, where they were, or at least where some of it happened, it would be awesome.
These students have just begun a 10-day archaeological dig, each pair carefully analyzing everything they pull from the ground.
Material that we're finding is actually things that were in the past. It's not somebody telling somebody that this is what happened in the past. And so we're hoping to take those objects and tell a story from them, and tell a story that's then now based in the reality of what was happening. So really kind of trying to ground truth a lot of the stories that were happening, and tell people what their lives were like and what the objects we're finding were like at the same time.
Under the guidance of Lauren Norman, these students are getting hands-on in the field training, while also learning the history of the area.
This is a really exciting way to tell the community what we're finding and to really illuminate the time that the people were here, and the awful things that happened here, is to kind of tie it really back to the material objects that we're finding.
The team will continue throughout the week to excavate and discover 1 square meter at a time.
Find something meaningful and something that confirms last season. So whatever we saw on our data from last season, I would like to see something come out of it.
Reporting in Lebec County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Norman says she'd like to see excavation continue for years. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. May is Foster Care Awareness Month. We'll have some details on how you can help. In Consumer Watch this morning, MasterCard is planning to use artificial intelligence to spot compromised cards faster. The new anti-fraud technology is expected to predict patterns in stolen cards and will allow banks to replace the cards before they are compromised. The company says AI will help to find where the card may have been compromised, as well as how it happened and how to remedy the situation. The Justice Department and several states are expected to file a lawsuit against Live Nation as soon as today for claims of the company using its power to suppress competition. The lawsuit could require Live Nation to make changes to its practices and even undo its merger with Ticketmaster. Live Nation says it does not run a monopoly on the industry, and the artists and teams set ticket prices rather than the company itself. A new report shows that weight loss drugs are soaring in popularity among children and young adults. Drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic gain popularity over its ability to help people lose weight quickly. Now, the use of those diabetes-intended medications, also known as GLP-1 receptor agnostics, is soaring in people ages 12 to 25. According to the latest data from JAMA, only a fraction of those using the medications actually suffer from obesity. Well, in an attempt to lower gas prices, the Energy Department is announcing the release of 1 million barrels of gasoline from a Northeast reserve. It comes as millions of Americans head out for the Memorial Day holiday. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively has more.
AAA predicts a record 38 million Americans will gas up and get out of town this Memorial Day weekend, paying an average of $3.61 for a gallon of regular, more than a 6-cent drop from a month ago, but about 7 cents higher than this time last year.
I think a lot of us will travel no matter what.
To try to lower prices, the Department of Energy is selling 1 million barrels from the Northeast gasoline supply reserve in a move mandated by Congress.
Thanks to Congress's efforts and the president's vision, we are executing a focused, deliberate strategy that positions our businesses to dominate, our workers to compete, and our communities to thrive. And it is working.
It's such a small amount that it's unlikely to affect prices much. The U.S. uses about 9 million barrels of gas a day.
They're going to try and distract the American public with that, like they're actually doing something like opening up the and draining more of our strategic oil reserve, which is a dangerous thing to do.
46% of drivers tell GasBuddy that the high cost of fuel has impacted their travel itineraries. But gas is just one price tag on the minds of Americans.
Housing prices, utility prices, gasoline prices, they're really suffering.
Some folks may not know if their paychecks are going to make ends meet next month.
The latest data shows consumer prices dropped last month, but overall, prices are up almost 20% since President Biden took office. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Those are our top consumer stories. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is coming up on 7:43 on this Thursday morning. Look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Again, nothing out there. We mentioned there's that brief possibility this morning of a stray shower or thunderstorm. Nothing to worry about if we saw anything, but we have not seen anything yet. And the only reason that's a possibility is we're kind of sandwiched between a couple of waves out here, and that could result in a stray shower or storm this morning. However, our severe threat picks up as we head later into the evening and overnight hours. So we do have a low-end risk for tornadoes in our far western counties. In southeastern Kansas, we have a low to elevated risk for hail, for large damaging hail, and a broader area of that low to elevated wind risk out there as well, because these storms are expected to roll through pretty quickly tonight, and that is what could result in some greater forces at the surface, so stronger wind gusts from these storms. Tomorrow, during the first half of our Friday, could see some additional strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms, and then we have a possible alert day for Saturday, as we've got an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms late Saturday night into Sunday morning, and we could see a little redevelopment in the first part of our Sunday before noon. That could also be strong, potentially severe as well. Let's talk about today. Again, future track still showing it's trying to get a stray shower or two going out there, even as late as noon, but I think our best chances are between now and 10 if we're going to see anything at all, and I think it's more likely we may not see anything. However, because we are between all of that, we're going to see higher dew points and humidity levels through the afternoon. So while we're going to be partly cloudy, maybe even mostly clear, temperatures in the 80s, it's going to be very muggy out there. So we're talking heat index values that could be pushing a little closer to 90, so do be prepared for that. By 6, a stray shower or storm, a couple of isolated showers and storms possible between 6 and 9, and by 9, 10 o'clock, here comes that main complex of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms out there. And here's the deal. We're stopping at 10 p.m. We're going to go only 2 hours forward, and look at how quickly this races through here. That's why wind is a greater concern with these storms, because they could be moving pretty quickly, packing a little bit of a punch with gusty winds. Then, after that, we clear out overnight tonight. We're looking pretty good. We get into Friday, clouds start to increase again, couple of showers, and by about 6 to 7 a.m., more showers and storms are popping up, and as you can see, they almost line up perfectly with that low-end risk for some stronger storms. So between, say, 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. tomorrow, we could see additional scattered showers and thunderstorms, and some of those could be strong to low-grade severe. By Friday evening, we clear out once again. In fact, the majority of our Saturday, at least through the first half of the day, is dry, mostly clear, partly cloudy, and quite warm out there. And then by about 8 o'clock Saturday night, that's when our next round of storms comes in. Now, this looks to be potentially 2 rounds of storms. One by about 8. A complex of thunderstorms that could be strong to severe, rolling in from southwest to almost northeast, and then right behind that, a line of more strong, potentially severe thunderstorms. So this event looks to be roughly between 8 p.m. and even as late as 1, 2 o'clock Sunday morning with this round of thunderstorms. Then we'll see additional thunderstorm chances as we go into our Sunday morning across the area. Quick look at temperature, 64 in Joplin. There's that humidity at 87%, dew points at 60. We're starting to see a little sunshine out there. Sky's trying to clear. Still cool. Iola, Chanute, Yates Center, hanging out in the 50s. Everyone else, though, still in the 60s out there as we get our Thursday underway. Again, highs today, low 80s. Low 80s tomorrow. That possible alert day Saturday, very warm. And then we've got those thunderstorms Saturday night into Sunday. Could see some redevelopment initially on our Sunday. And then it'll clear out and be a pretty pleasant day following that. A break in the action Monday and Tuesday. More showers and storms possible Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. That's a check here at the forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Every time.
The number of children in foster care is rising, but in some states, there aren't enough families willing to take them in.
Fox's Kennedy Hayes is in Denver with a look at the foster care shortage across America.
A nonprofit here tells me they need more foster parents. In Colorado, they are seeing on average 10 children a day enter the foster care system.
This is Josiah. He's my youngest, the one that is most full of life and keeps me on edge every day, right?
Yeah. Jacob Harrington says he knew nothing about foster care before he became a dad 8 years ago.
My wife and I went from 0 kids to 3 off the bat, and it was awful. It was hard, but we had such great support.
Thanks to help from the Griffith Center's nonprofit, Harrington says he's now fostered 5 children. The number of kids in Colorado's foster care system grew 11% last year, from 3,800 to 4,300, according to a report on foster homes and families. The nonprofit says they need more foster parents.
There is just a shortage, whether it's a lack of education, a lack of understanding, or just a lack of resources for these foster families.
And that shortage hits especially hard for teenagers and siblings looking to stay together. They're often tougher to place in foster homes to begin with. Our research shows Colorado is one of 16 states with a foster care shortage. Others include Arizona, Texas, Wisconsin, and Georgia. The Griffith Center says the process of becoming a parent is simple, and providing a safe home makes a big difference.
We had a child that was in placement that came to foster parents nonverbal, could not explain anything, and as they've been in placement and they've been working with her, she is able to speak in full sentences now.
If you have the desire to see growth, development, and a safe place for kids that don't have that, at least go find out about it. Make sure you're nice.
My parents are awesome. The nonprofit adds you do not need to be married or own your own home to qualify to become a foster parent, and encourages anyone interested to reach out and learn more. In Denver, Kennedy Hayes, Fox News.
Certainly a situation that's got to be resolved, but I mean, it's getting tough, and I think part of it is probably inflation.
Yes.
I mean, there's some, like that couple there, they didn't have any kids, but with inflation and prices going so high, it makes it difficult to bring in. And if you don't have a big enough house, like you said, the housing market is, it's a tough time across the country right now.
Absolutely.
And we've got thunderstorm chances increasing across the area as we head into the evening hours. Again, right now, Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear. There's some showers and thunderstorms in Arkansas and dying showers now entering southern Nebraska. And we're in between these two waves, which is why there's that remote possibility of a stray shower, rumble of thunder between now and 10 a.m. And then after that, those chances are pretty well gone. We do have a low-end risk for tornadoes late tonight across parts of our far western counties in southeastern Kansas. We have a low to elevated hail risk out there and a low to elevated wind risk as well, as we could see some strong to severe thunderstorms tonight. And tonight, not the only time we could see them. We could see some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms between roughly, say, 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. tomorrow. Saturday isn't a possible alert day, as we've got an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms out there. So today, again, a stray shower possible, but I think we're going to remain dry. Later this evening, though, between 6 and 9, we could see an isolated storm or two. And by 10, here comes that main complex of thunderstorms rolling through that could be strong to severe. We clear out by Friday. Again, a few more. By 8 a.m., we're looking at where we could see some of those strong, potentially severe thunderstorms for the first part of our Friday. We clear out again. And then by Saturday, most of our Saturday is dry. And then it's late Saturday, about 8 o'clock or so, that we see a couple of rounds of strong to severe thunderstorms between 8 p.m. and maybe as late as 2 a.m. out there. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
A four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says a trooper from Miami is fired after he was charged with sex crimes. Court documents say Trooper Jackie Lee Reinhardt was pulled over a semi-truck driver for speeding on I-44 near Big Cabin in Craig County. They say Reinhardt forced sexual acts on the driver. After the charges were filed, the Highway Patrol released a statement saying it terminated Reinhardt's employment. A federal court sentences a Kansas man for meth trafficking. In August of 2022, Crawford County, Kansas Sheriff tried to stop Justin Lapping, but he fled on motorcycle. Lapping was arrested shortly in Barton County, Missouri with a large amount of meth on him. He is now sentenced to 24 years and 6 months without parole for possessing methamphetamine to distribute. And Joplin's Bookhouse Cinema has decided it will dim its lights after 6 years. The owners say while the property is for sale, they will maintain normal operating hours until the closing day. They go on to say they have a plan to provide Joplin with a cinema-focused space very shortly.
And we've got ourselves a warm and muggy day today, highs into the low 80s. Partly cloudy, maybe even mostly clear skies as we head into the afternoon. By 6, a few isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. And then our severe threat picks up after 9 with a complex of thunderstorms rolling in tonight between about, say, 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. Lows back into the upper 60s. More strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms in the first portion of our day on Friday. And then we'll clear out by Friday afternoon and evening. More strong to severe thunderstorms with a possible alert day Saturday as those storms roll in between 8 p.m. and maybe as late as 2 a.m. And then we could see a few additional strong, potentially severe storms in the first half of our Sunday as well. So a lot to keep an eye on.
All right, sounds like it. Well, yoga fans in Massachusetts are enjoying a new distraction to their yoga flow. As they practice downward dogs, cobra, and dolphin poses, tiny piglets run around amongst the class.
The piglet yoga classes are so popular that they sell out quickly and people drive for hours to participate in the vinyasa flow sessions as piglets play and feed on their mats.
There you go.
Okay. There's always, they've had
everyone.
goats, they've had cats, now piglets.
Puppies,
I mean,
yeah.
it makes sense. It makes sense. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.